Now let's talk about option premiums. This one really messes people up, but it's not that big of a deal. None of this stuff is that complicated. At first it may seem overwhelming. Eventually it starts feeling comfortable. It's sort of like when you were learning to ride a bicycle. When you were first learning to ride a bicycle, you used every neuron in your brain to try to balance. Eventually, you started balancing the bike without even thinking about it. You don't know when it happened. You remember the first time trying to ride the bike, and you don't remember any bike ride after that. It just started sinking in. The same thing is going to happen with option premiums. Okay, people new to options have questions, and one of the first is probably why options are priced differently. Okay, they'll look at two different companies' option prices and say, wait, this company's trading for 20, this one's trading for 20, and the options are trading for different prices. Why is that? Well, we're going to have to go in to talk about why an option is priced the way it is. Calls and puts both have pricing of the same way. Options prices are based on intrinsic value, which is real value, and time value. Now, what does that mean? Intrinsic value is the real value of an option. When we were looking at the coupon in PAIR, take $400 off the list price. Okay, this computer, if you go into the store without a coupon, it's going to cost you $999. With the coupon, it's $599. That coupon saves you $400. Let's say that this is one of those stores that takes their coupon seriously. We've all walked in the stores and bought something, and the person checking us out said, hey, you know what? This thing's on sale with a coupon, and they pulled out a flyer and ripped the coupon for us and saved us the money, even though we didn't walk into the store with the coupon. This company will not give you any discount if you don't have that coupon in hand. Why? Because they got to turn it into PAIR computer to get their money. So this coupon does save you $400. If you don't have it, you're not going to get the discount. So this coupon is worth $400. It has a real value of $400. If you go and look on eBay, people are selling coupons on eBay because it does have real value. Now, suppose we're looking at the 195 call in PAIR and assume that the stock is trading at 214. What's the real value of that call? What is the right to buy the stock for 195 worth when the stock's really at 214? Okay, well, there's a lot of different ways of figuring out intrinsic value, and we got them in the book, so you can just go in and look. But what we found is that teaching thousands and thousands of people, the easiest way to understand what intrinsic value is just simply saying a sentence and filling in the blanks in your head. And the sentence is, at the moment of expiration, okay, when that coupon is about to go out worthless and it's either going to be used or not used, you have to ask yourself, what is the right to buy or sell, if we're dealing with the put, the company that we're looking at, stock worth when the stock's current price is equal to, and then you fill in the blanks. Now, looking at this the first time, you're going to be like, what the heck is this? But it's going to make sense real quick, so just hold on here. All we do is sit there and say, at the moment, because we're dealing with the call, what is the right to buy PAIR for at a strike price of 195 worth when the current price is 214? In other words, how much is that coupon saving us? If we can buy the stock for 195 with that coupon, when the rest of the world is having to buy the stock at $2.14, how much are we saving? That is what the coupon's worth. Okay, let's say we're looking at the 190 coupon in pair and assume that the stock is trading at 177. We just figure it out the same way. What at the moment of expiration is the right to buy pair for 190 worth when the stock's current real price is 177? When you go to buy pair and the stock is at 177 and you have a coupon that lets you to buy it at 190, are you going to use that coupon? The checkout clerk says that'll be $177, and you say, no, I got this coupon that lets me buy it for 190. I want to use the coupon. Are you going to use the coupon, or are you going to just forget that you have a coupon in your pocket? You're not going to use the coupon. It has no value because you can buy it in the store cheaper than if you had used the coupon. That's intrinsic value. That means that particular option where you could buy the stock at 190 if you use the coupon, but everybody was not using their coupons because the store had a sale for 177, that option had no intrinsic value. But keep in mind that an option cannot have a negative value. Okay, it either has value or it doesn't have value. It does either has real value, intrinsic value, or it has none. No one's going to hand that $190 coupon in and pay $13 more than they would have at the store. Now let's talk about a couple terms: in the money, out of the money, and at the money. You're going to hear this a lot. At first it may sound a little confusing. It'll become instinctual shortly. In the money just refers to options that have intrinsic value. Okay, if the option is worth something, it's in the money. It's just like when you're at the racetrack and you see people dancing around because they won on their particular horse race, and they go, I'm in the money. Their ticket is worth something. Therefore, it has intrinsic value. It's in the money. Out of the money means the options don't have any intrinsic value. It's not worth a thing other than it has some time until expiration. Okay, if you hear the term, my horse came out of the money, and the guy's like walking around moping, that means he lost. Okay, it doesn't have any real value. That ticket he tears up. And at the money refers to ATM. The strike price and the stock price are almost equal. Okay, when you go to a cash station machine, it's called ATM because at the money, it's where the money's at. So if the stock's at 100 and you're looking at the 100 call or the 100 put, it's an at the money option. Now, I started out by saying an option has intrinsic value and time value. We covered intrinsic value. Okay, it's either got intrinsic value or it does not. Time value is the portion of the option's price that is not real value. Okay, when we buy this car for $30,000 and we buy an insurance policy for $1,000, that is covering the car for a loss of $30,000. If the car is stolen, we get a check for $30,000 back. But because we spent $30,000 for the car and $1,000 for the insurance, our total cost is $31,000. Where is that $1,000 going for? Are you going to go out and buy that car for $30,000, buy the insurance policy for $1,000, and then drive your car into the lake and say it was stolen to collect the $30,000? No, it doesn't make sense. What are you paying that $1,000 for if that thing is not worth anything right now? Okay, if your car's not stolen, hasn't been in an accident, you're not going to call up your insurance agent That insurance policy is really just 1 year of time. You're paying $1,000 for 1 year protection. If you buy a home, you buy homeowners insurance for, say, $3,000. That $3,000 does not mean you can now burn down your house for fun. That $3,000 is just simply to give you 1 year protection on the home. Okay? And that's what time value and an option is. So when we're looking at a call or a put, calls are on the left side of this, puts are on the right side. What you'll see here is various stock prices in the center column. If we're looking at a stock that's trading for $190, and we look at the 190 call, we know that because the stock's at 190 and the strike price is at 190, this option is at the money. Okay? The same thing with the put. Now, if we go and look at the 190 strike call when the stock's at 200, this is going to be called in the money. Why? Because it has intrinsic value. If you're confused why it has intrinsic value, you go back to the saying. Again, this is the 190 strike call, so you sit there and say, what is the right to buy the stock for 190 worth when the rest of the world's paying 200? If you have the coupon that lets you buy it for 190 and everyone else is paying 200, this saves you $10. It's in the money. The same thing with the put. Let's say you have the right to you buy the 190 strike put. This gives you the right to sell the stock at 190. Now let's say the stock goes to 180. You decide to sell the stock out because you no longer like it. The stock's at 180. If you wanted to sell the stock, you could sell it at 180, but because you have a put that lets you sell it at 190, you can sell it $10 higher. So it has intrinsic value. It's in the money. This chart in your text is just going to help you get familiar with when something's in the money or out of the money. I would just go back and review it a couple times a week until it starts sinking in and becomes second nature. I remember when I was learning this stuff, it took me a little bit of time for it to grasp in my head. I had to keep thinking, okay, I've got this coupon. It lets me buy it for this. The rest of the world has to pay more, so it's saving me money, therefore it must be in the money. And I had to slow myself down. Here we have calls where we're selling for intrinsic value and whether the option is in the money, at the money, or out of the money. If we buy, for example, a January 35 strike call when the stock is at 37.80, does it have intrinsic value? Is it in the money, at the money, or out of the money? I would go over that sentence in your book and practice with all of these until it sinks in. So you just sit there and say, when I have the right to buy the stock for 35 and the rest of the world has to pay 37.80, am I better off? Well, yeah, if I can buy it 35 and everyone else has to pay 37.80, I'm $2.80 better than everybody else. Therefore, my option's in the money. If the stock's at 120, everyone can buy it at 120, and I have a coupon that buys it for 120. Am I better off? No. This has no intrinsic value, but because the stock price and the strike price are the same, it's at the money. Put selling for intrinsic value, whether the option's in the money, at the money, or out of the money. This works the same way as with the calls, but you got to reverse it. Remember, because with puts, it gives you the right to sell. So you ask yourself, I have the 35 put. This lets me sell it at 35. What is the right to sell the stock at 35 worth when everyone else can sell it at 37.80? Would I rather sell it at 35 or would I rather sell at 37.80? Obviously, you'd rather sell it at 37.80. Therefore, this put doesn't give me any protection. I'm no better off with it. Therefore, it has no real value, and it's out of the money.